Hi, my name's Sierra. I wanted to start this interview off by thanking the admissions committee for taking the time to watch this video and giving me the opportunity to interview for one of the Boise State genetic counseling positions. I'm really grateful for the opportunity and excited to get to speak with you guys in a few days. To start by answering your question, who am I? As I said, my name's Sierra. I'm 26. I grew up in the Pacific Northwest. I went to college in Colorado and ended up back here for a position as a genetic counseling assistant at Oregon Health and Science University, and it's been so great so far. But on a more personal level, I live at home on a farm with my animals and my mom, and I just enjoy the daily things in life and cooking with the vegetables that we get in our gardens and taking care of our chickens and my dogs. I think just finding joy in the little things in life is really something that I like, and something about who I am is I don't like to dwell on things that are out of my control. I like to live in the moment and learn from the things that I'm doing on a daily basis, learn from the mistakes I make, because I make a lot. But I think that's the whole goal of life. And not just learning from my experiences, I also just value education. I value learning on a daily basis. I learn from the genetic counselors I work with. I learn from the cases that I'm privy to and get to see on a daily basis. I learn from the denial letters that I'm drafting for insurance, because I have to research standards of care and the laws that are in place, or the recommendations for genetic testing. And so I think that's something that is really pertinent to who I am. Is I love learning, I love education, and I want to continue my path in genetic counseling and just growing my knowledge on a daily basis and in my future career. This leads me to the second question you asked about why genetic counseling. I think for me, from a young age, I always knew I wanted to do something in the medical field, something to do with science. It was always a passion of mine. And when I learned about genetic counseling, I felt like it really just clicked into place as something that I would be successful in. I love the intersection of science and the care for people and the learning aspect, as well as genetics is such a growing field. You're just constantly learning in the position. In this career, I think it really clicked for me the impact when I had the opportunity to shadow an adult genetics clinic while I was working in Colorado. And there's a patient case that really stood out to me, and it was this patient who's deaf, and we had a translator, and she had a family history of deafness and a few other things going on. And she always felt like she wasn't heard by her physicians, and felt like she finally was going to get answers because of genetics. And I really was able to see the impact that this field has on people, and that really just was on my heart, as that's always been something I've wanted to do in my life, and something that I've actively done just because of the house I grew up in, what my parents instilled in me. We were always taking care of people. We always had people staying with us in times of need. I've had missions trips on hurricane restoration to meet people from different cultures and really see what they value and what they love. And I think that's a big piece of genetic counseling, and why I'm interested in the field, is getting to know diverse populations, getting to expand the field of genetics, getting to teach people. And I'm looking forward to potentially, being involved in research someday that'll impact people in the field of genetics, and getting to educate them and navigate tough situations with patients and hand through tough times, because this field is not an easy one. In saying that, I think it brings me to my next question of why I'm interested in the Boise State program. Personally, I have